So, what if I told you that your entire reality, everything you can see and touch, all your memories, isn't actually real? It's a question that seriously blurs the line between science and philosophy, and it's exactly what we're going to dive into today. It sounds like something straight out of a movie, right? But some of the most brilliant scientists on the planet are seriously kicking this idea around. The thought is both simple and, well, staggering. We might be living inside an incredibly advanced computer simulation. And the chance that we're not? Some thinkers believe it's basically zero.
So why? What on earth would make these super smart people, who build their entire careers on hard evidence, even consider such a wild theory? Well, the journey to that answer doesn't start with computers. It starts with the strange, almost unbelievable perfection of our very own universe.
To really get the simulation argument, we first have to talk about something physicists call the fine-tuning problem. And it's this weird observation that our universe seems to be balanced on a knife's edge, just perfectly set up for life to exist.
You see, our universe runs on a set of fixed, unchangeable rules. These fundamental numbers, like the strength of gravity or the speed of light, they're just built in. We didn't choose them, they're just part of the fabric of reality. You could almost think of them as the unchangeable source code of our world.
And this is where it gets really strange. If you took any one of these numbers and just tweaked it, by the tiniest fraction, the whole thing would fall apart. Make gravity a little bit stronger? The universe would have collapsed back on itself right after the Big Bang. A little weaker? Stars and planets never would have formed. Either way, no us. Just a cold, empty void.
To really get a sense of how improbable this is, imagine this. You're trying to hit a bullseye on a dartboard. Oh, and the dartboard is the size of the entire planet Earth, and you're in the dark. The fact that our universe exists is like hitting that bullseye. It's that precise.
This incredible fine-tuning leaves us with a huge question. Did we just get ridiculously, unbelievably lucky and win the cosmic lottery? Or were the dials set this way on purpose? And that question leads us straight to one of the most mind-bending possibilities.
What if the universe wasn't designed by some kind of cosmic being, but by a programmer? This is what's known as the simulation hypothesis, and the people who support it say our reality is full of little clues, almost like digital fingerprints, that hint we're all living inside a giant computer.
And look, this isn't just some fringe idea from the corners of the internet. Big names like Elon Musk and astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson have seriously thought about this. Their argument basically goes like this. If it's even possible for a civilization to create a realistic simulation, they won't just make one, they'll make billions of them. And if that's true, statistically speaking, it's way more likely that we're in one of the billions of simulations, not the one single base reality.
You know, this whole idea is starting to move from just theory to something we can actually see in our own labs. Take the Neuromake experiment. Scientists literally mapped and simulated a fruit fly's brain, all 1.3 million neurons. And guess what? The simulated brain, running on a computer, acted just like a real fly. It looked for food, it reacted to things. So if we can do that today with a fly, imagine what a civilization a million years more advanced than us could simulate.
Okay, so let's look at the first potential clue. In the bizarre world of quantum physics, there's something called the observer effect. Basically, a particle doesn't seem to have a definite state until we actually look at it. Now, this is weirdly similar to how a video game works. To save processing power, a game engine only loads and renders the parts of the world you're actively looking at. So is our universe just doing the same thing to save on cosmic computing power? Now think about the ultimate speed limit, the speed of light. Nothing in the universe can go faster. It's a hard-coded absolute rule. Well, that sounds a lot like a computer's processor, right? A CPU has a maximum clock speed, a limit to how fast it can crunch numbers. Could the speed of light just be the maximum processing speed of whatever computer is running our universe? And this might be the most compelling clue of all. Our reality isn't infinitely smooth. If you could zoom in far enough, you'd eventually hit a fundamental limit, the smallest possible unit of distance. It's called the Planck length. It's just like the pixels on your screen. You can get closer and closer, but eventually you're just looking at a single, indivisible dot. Is the Planck length just the pixel of our reality?
So we've got a universe that's perfectly fine-tuned, and it seems to have these weird digital fingerprints all over it. The case for a simulation seems pretty strong, right? Well, there's one massive, glaring, logical problem that the theory just can't seem to solve on its own.
It's simple, really. If our universe is a computer program, then there has to be a programmer. But then what about that programmer's reality? Is it also a simulation? This just creates an endless loop of questions. It doesn't actually solve the mystery of where the original rules came from, it just kicks the can up one level.
To find a more satisfying answer, we need to look at a different and maybe even more profound idea. It's called emergence, and it suggests that you don't actually need a grand designer to create breathtaking complexity.
Basically, emergence is when you get way more out of a system than you put into it. It's what happens when a bunch of individual parts, each following simple local rules, create a complex and intelligent-looking behavior for the whole group, all without any central leader telling them what to do.
The perfect example is a flock of starlings. Their movement looks like this beautiful, coordinated dance. But here's the secret. There is no leader. No one's in charge. Every single bird is just following these three very simple rules based on the birds immediately around it.
And from those simple local interactions, this mesmerizing, complex, and intelligent pattern just emerges. It happens all on its own. The system organizes itself. No grand architect needed.
Okay, so now let's take that powerful idea and apply it to the whole universe. What if the fundamental forces we see, like gravity, or even things like space and time themselves, aren't really fundamental at all? What if they're actually emergent properties, bubbling up from a much simpler set of rules operating at some deeper, hidden level of reality? This idea of a simpler reality underneath everything, it leads us to our final and honestly most staggering possibility. It's a theory from physicist Max Tegmark, and it completely flips our definition of the universe on its head. Tegmark argues that at the very bottom of it all, reality isn't physical, it's mathematical. He says the reason physics is so perfectly described by mathematics is because the universe itself is a giant, complex mathematical structure. We just happen to perceive it as physical, because we're self-aware parts living inside that very structure.
And that brings us to a really powerful conclusion. Maybe the fine-tuning of our universe doesn't need a programmer or a designer at all. All of the intricate beauty, the laws of physics, everything could have just emerged, naturally and inevitably, from a foundation of pure, simple mathematical rules. Complexity was just born from simplicity.
So where does all this leave us? We live in this incredible universe, with rules that not only allow for life, but also for minds that can try to understand those very rules. Maybe the greatest secret of the cosmos isn't some final answer, but realizing that every door we open just leads to another question, in a beautiful, endless search for understanding.